Welcome to the Heart of America Athletic Conference Men's Basketball Media Day. We're excited to be joined by Peru State College. The Bobcats are getting ready for another season. Let's start with some introductions. Sky, go ahead and introduce yourself. Name, hometown, and year in school, please.
My name is Skylar Wilson. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and 2024, my graduation year.
Cool. Coach, go ahead and introduce yourself, name, and how many years you've been head coach there.
Sure. Bob Ludwig. I'm from Bellevue, Nebraska, and this is my 6th year here as head coach at Peru State.
Awesome. Coach, tell us about Sky and, his importance to your program.
Yeah, well, Sky kind of coming into his 3rd year as I guess what you would label a COVID sophomore, redshirt sophomore, has been one of a few guys that kind of made it through some tough times with us that, we're hopeful we're coming out of the opposite side of, and that, hey, when that COVID year kind of initially hit, we had some young kids in our program that are still with us that have really helped us build this thing. I think they've made things a little bit easier for the newcomers coming in terms of having some consistency. He's been really, really good top to bottom as far as just effort on the court, academically, leading by example, and we're really hopeful. Has just helped us kind of build back our foundation to hopefully take a step back in a good direction this year.
Sky, what's your major, and what are some maybe career plans for life after basketball?
So my major is secondary education. If I'm able to, given the opportunity to play professional basketball overseas, but if I'm not, I'd like to be a math teacher in high school. So,
yeah, very good. What's the experience been like for you to play for Peru State and, specifically, play for coach?
It's been a great experience. My teammates, just being able to play with them, bonding on and off the court, having a great coach just kind of lead us and just bringing energy every single day. I don't think there's been a lot of bad moments playing for a coach, and a lot of people can't say that. I think he has our best interest on and off the court, which just says a lot about his character as a person. And yeah.
Coach, how have the first few practices gone? What are some positive things you've seen from your squad so far?
We've had some minor injuries, but are back up about whole here the last few practices. It's been good. I think that maybe one of our issues last year was kind of having more of a top to bottom consistency of effort. We do feel like there's some improvement as far as having a combination of returners and the new guys that we haven't really had to bring along much as far as, their effort and their buy-in and their attitude. So it's been good. It's been really competitive, and with having, exact number, I have to take a look here, but definitely more returners than I've ever had. Really helps with the consistency and kind of having some familiarity with, the practice plan and the way we do things, as I think made things a little bit easier early on.
Next, we'll send it over to Ryan. Ryan, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and your media affiliation?
Hey, Coach. Hey, Skylar. Ryan Beer with B103 Radio here in Nebraska. Skylar, I'll start with you. 9 points a game last year, shot 40% from the field and from three. Where are you trying to grow your game this year heading into what's really your junior year here at Peru?
Outside of stats, I think just being more consistent game to game. I felt like there were some games where I showed up and I was a huge impact, and there were other games where I didn't make as much of an impact. So just making sure that I'm just staying pretty consistent every game.
And now you're sort of one of those older guys on this team. How have you grown as a leader here for this Bobcats program over your 3 years here at the program?
As a leader, I would say there's been times where things are going good and everybody's up, and then things weren't going as well, and you just people don't have as much energy. So just when things aren't going good, just bringing that energy and making sure everybody is doing what they need to do.
And Coach, with you said you're in your 6th year here. You guys were really good at home last year, 10-3, but struggled a little bit away from home. I think 4-11 on the road last year. How do you flip the script there and kind of bounce some of those wins back in your favor on the road?
Yeah, I mean, hope and experience. I think I don't know if I realized it until I looked at it recently, but I think it was 7 losses by 1 or 2 possessions. And again, I'm just kind of hoping that experience level with a lot of these guys being a part of those games, Us, we really tried to dig into what happened within those games. Kind of at the end of the year, did a study on our turnovers as to exactly how and where we were turning the ball over, and the types of turnovers that we struggled with. And so I hope the experience, that the players first and foremost, but me as a coach too, kind of went through in a lot of those close losses will help us kind of get to the other side of those games and those close situations this year.
And I know you got a couple new coaches on your staff. Kind of talk about how they've integrated into the program here in the first few practices this year.
Yeah, Roman Gentry, came to us from Division I South Dakota. He's got a lot of experience, at the Division II level as well. He was a former Division I player at South Dakota, really successful. I think he's been really, really good for our players and for me personally. He's got a really good, on-floor coaching personality and demeanor. He's obviously got the experience, to back it up. Playing a guard position, I think, has been helpful in that, we're a really guard-oriented offense, so to speak. And, me as a bigger, slower, unathletic guy, I'm not very much able to demonstrate some of those movements at the level that I would like to. So having Coach has been fantastic. I think we're really blessed to have an assistant coach here with a lot of experience that's ready to be a head coach. And I think it's really going to help, our program top to bottom. We've also got Damien, Witty, and Brodie Anderson, two new coaches, kind of in a stipend and graduate assistant role that have been great. They've been excellent workers. They've got really good attention to detail. So I would be lying if I didn't tell you when we've lost some really good coaches, we've had some coaches, whether move on to full-time roles or take different jobs, that, last spring, that was tough because, we had good relationships with those guys and good experiences with them. So dating back to last spring, I was very nervous when we're bringing back such a core of guys and wasn't sure who I'd be working alongside. And it really couldn't have worked out any better. Really have had a good dynamic as a staff so far, and have really enjoyed working with this group of coaches.
And you mentioned the experience you guys bring back. Talk about some of the new faces, though. Who are some young guys that could contribute here this spring or fall and winter here?
As far as young newcomers?
Yep.
Well, the young newcomer that's probably got to stick out the most is Fatihayak, a Turkish player who came to us from a Florida prep school, 2-1-2 prep. Has been more physical probably than any freshman I've ever had. A lot of guys just take a year or two to adapt to the strength of the game. He put a lot of work in this summer to make sure that he was up to par that way. He's just physically beyond his years. It's been really impressive that he has taught himself English. He came over to prep school last fall and really just was the first time, he never took really any English courses and has taught himself the language, and to be doing as well as he's doing academically and being able to fight and improve the language barrier has been, really impressive. I thought it was something that, would be a wild card as to whether he could be successful early, but he's really growing that way. So Fatihayak, kind of 4-5 post player for us, is really our only freshman varsity player this year, and it's been great.
And I just have one more for you, Coach. I know you guys score a lot of points. You play an up and down style, like to get up and down the floor, which leads to a lot more possessions for your opponent, which is why the defensive points per game can get up there a little bit. But how do you manage and try and, get the defensive numbers down a little bit despite playing that fast up and pace style?
Yeah, I mean, that's the area where I felt like as a coach that, hey, we really underachieved, and look at myself in the mirror, and we're long and athletic enough to be good defensively. I think we're smart and have a good enough basketball IQ to be good defensively. And so we just got to do a better job as coaches getting these guys, to understand the way we want things done and to hold them accountable in doing it. So we've tried early on to do a little bit more earlier live competitive defensive stuff, just rewarding guys for stops, giving guys points for stops, more so maybe than varying that up in previous years. But we really feel like, again, the experience level should help with that. And, but that is going to be, one of our two, areas that are going to be huge to allow us to have a successful season, as we need to vastly improve our team defense offensively. I love what we did, for the majority of last year, but really second semester, but we got to clean up the turnovers. So improving our team defense and then, cleaning up our turnovers on the offensive end are definitely the two biggest priorities for us right now.
All right, thanks, guys. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Brian. Coach, Sky, one more question for you guys. Sky, the Heart of America Athletic Conference, very competitive conference, night in, night out. What's it like to play in the Heart and, from your perspective as a student athlete?
I think it's a great experience. I think whether it's home or away, the environment is it's a great environment. The competition level is pretty high, and every day, if you're not coming to compete, you will struggle. So just knowing that in order to win games, you really need to compete and really bring your best foot.
And Coach, last question for you. We've asked every head coach the same thing. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear Heart of America men's basketball?
Oh, just, the grind. I think that as a guy who had somewhere around 10, 11 years of predominantly NAI experience coming into the Heart, I probably didn't know just the balance in terms of maybe some previous leagues I've been a part of have been really, really good leagues, but that team that's last or second last in the standings is going to pop you on any given night where you're not ready. I think it's a little bit more athletic league than I was used to in the NAI. The coaching is just really, really good. And so it is, it's a grind. And I know that, there's a lot of really good leagues in the NAI, but I just think the balance of the Heart is what makes it really, really special. It's equal parts frustrating and fun, that you're going to have a battle every single night.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. Ryan, thank you for joining us today for Media Day. Sky, Coach, thank you for your time and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much, guys.